All right, quiet on the set.
All right, gotcha.
This weekend, SEC football promo. Take two. Hey there, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It's your guy, Mr. Fingers, coming to you live from Zagnif Central.
Hey, and I'm Colin P., a brother from another. What it is, Showbiz?
I will tell you what it is, Showbiz. You guys, welcome to this week's edition of This Week in SEC Football. But before we get started, do us a little favor. If you're watching us on the YouTube, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button if you have not done so already. We appreciate you much. And if you want to be a contributor to the show, a little something to help the cause, right down there in the bottom, in the lower third, in the crawl, rolling across your screen is the address for our Patreon page. We got some great perks for those of you that are contributors and regular viewers of the show, because we appreciate you so very, very much. So, Colin, my man, I think it's time to get this show started. What you say?
My man, let's lay the hammer down.
Oh, you know we gonna do something before two something. Club Shay Shay coming right at you right after this. Oh, hello, ladies, gentlemen, boys, girls.
What Bama does, what Bama do. They were giving Alabama like Alabama was this. If Alabama didn't lose their two
Does
stars.
not show up that day,
Dude,
or was it
you watch the same?
systematically?
It's offense more like I've noticed it's more of a passing.
Hey, who knows? It might have been, might have not been. Who knows? But then again, that's why they call it football. I mean,
Oh man, that's definitely going on the blooper
when you
reel.
do that voice, I think of Norbert. Oh my God, we have a dandelion encrusted rib.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. How the heck is everybody doing? How are you? How are you? How are you? And how are you? And you, and you, and you, and you. And I'm sorry if I seem a little distracted, but if you can feel it in the air, if you can you smell it in the air? It is that time of year, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Georgia Bulldogs. Well, okay, it's SEC football, but Georgia Bulldogs are coming back to the field. Can you spell it with me, ladies and gentlemen?
Man, it's about to go down, bro.
It cut short. It cut short. All I can say is, man, dog, I am stoked. I had never been excited. I haven't been this excited for a season opener since the 1981 season opener. We know what happened back in 1980, and we had that 1981 season opener, but we were ready. We were ready. The boys came out. They did the doggone thing. They fell just a little bit short, but it was okay because we had that national championship.
Yes,
and we got the national championship this past January, and the dogs are ready to take the field again. Boy, folks are already in the chat, lighting us up. Nathan Snell, Sean Spencer. What is this new? There's this new trend now. Everybody want to be first now. First. I know you was there. I know you was there. There's Nathan Snell, Sean second and third. Look, yep, you're right, boy. It's about to be this week in University of Georgia football. Get ready. Get ready. I'm like Sean Spencer. Let's go.
Dude, I tell you what, I was on that show last Saturday morning. You saw how hype I was. I was ready to jump through the computer screen, man. I was ready to go just see college football back in action. Man, oh man, oh man.
Brother, I'm telling you what. Look. It's like I can't even talk right now. That's how excited I am, man. Like I can hear, I can hear that lone trumpeter playing the opening strains of "Glory to Old Georgia," the battle hymn of the Bulldog Nation. And I can hear Larry Munson. I can hear Larry Munson. Ooh,
Exactly.
I need to give myself a call drop, and then Larry Munson comes in. Glory to Old Georgia. Man, I can't wait.
Yes, sir.
I can't wait. Look, man, I'm gonna get some snacks. I don't think I'm gonna leave the house. I'm gonna be just in front of the TV like.
Man, I gotta work at 3. I gotta work at 9 to 5, but I think I'm gonna talk to old boss man, see if I can get off a little early. Maybe I can work a 7 to 3 shift, get off early for the 3:30 kickoff. But we'll see what I can do.
Now, Sean Spencer, I'm just listen. Normally, I do not let Cat Williams out very often on this show because this is an SEC show. So every now and again, we bring out Shay Shay because Shay Shay at least played football in Georgia, even though he didn't play for the Georgia Dogs. But I'm about to tell you right now, there's nothing you can do or say that is gonna steal my joy right now, boo boo. Because the men that wear the red and black is getting ready to take the field this weekend, and that does not even sound right. And that does not even sound right. Cat Williams' voice, I can't do it. I can't do it. Mike Singletary, can't do it.
Can't do it.
Can't do it.
So getting up that weekend here, man, it's a dangerous, man. When you come to Northern Virginia and meet up with your boys, lose that voice,
bruh. Look, man, look, we got to figure out a way next year to get you and the Godfather of Let's Talk Football out here to Norman for that matchup in Oklahoma.
Oh, I'm
because
down.
your boy is gonna be there, and we need to get tickets this year because they already looking like the cheap ones. The cheap ones are at about $100 a seat, and you can still get some pretty close to the field in good spot. But you wait till this time next year, it's gonna be stupid.
Hey, I already told you I got family out there, so hey, I'm down the road.
Well, tell your family they need to tell your peoples they need to get 2 tickets for them. We'll get them the money for 3 more tickets, so that way we can all sit together, cut up. Because I ain't trying to be in the end zone and I'm pointing at you and you sitting behind the band and Sean is all the way up in the nosebleed seats.
Hey, we were there. We were just there. Now we gotta be together.
Right. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know what show this is, it is This Week in SEC Football. I am Mr. Fingers coming to you from Zagnif Live in the heart of Oklahoma City. And that fella right there, look, I actually got you to the right side this time. It is the brother from another, the sexy Mother Hubbard, the ace of base in the place, in your face. I am very happy to be here. Colin P. from the DMV talking to SEC. I switched it up for you, Sean Spencer. There you go. You like it. How you doing, baby boy?
Oh man, I'm doing great. Like I said, man, I was privileged enough to sit down with Sean and the rest of the Let's Talk College Football crew. Man, I had such a blast. Let me talk a little bit about Georgia football, man, and it just got me even more excited, dude. You know what I'm saying? Just let them know. I mean, even if we had football this past weekend, we got the upper echelon. I like to say this weekend coming up.
Hey, look, why you joking? We gonna get into that story in a minute, but it looked a little bit like we had some upper echelon playing on Saturday night. Matter of fact, Texas need to go ahead and let Vandy take this slogan. The way they would look.
We're back,
brother. I've been telling people, don't sleep on Vandy. I'm telling you.
Not like Vandy has ever really been there, but bruh. Matter of fact, we just gonna go ahead and jump in. We're gonna go ahead and jump right into that, man. Vanderbilt, for those of you that have never watched a single college football game and you're just watching this show just because you like us, we appreciate you being there. Number one, like, share, subscribe, whatever platform you're watching. If you're watching this on Twitter, if you're watching us on Twitter, that's the remix. Twitter, if you're watching us on Facebook, if you're watching us on YouTube, hit the like button. If there's a subscribe button, hit the subscribe button. If there's a share button, hit the share button. If you got comments, let us hear them because all of that helps out the algorithm. Let me tell you something, bro. Now, to get back to those of you that are watching, thank you so much for tuning in today. We're very, very, very happy to be here. I'm serious. Like, this is the most stoked I've been since we did the show after the national championship. And that it seemed like a long time ago, but bro, that was 7 months ago. Can you believe that? We get ready to get back into football. Anyway, Vanderbilt in Tennessee, very, very good school academically. It's where a lot of kids go where they want to expand their brains, go out and change the world and things of that nature. There's probably the best academic record in the SEC school wise. Not so much when it comes to football. They are not necessarily known as the guys you want to call first when you want a football team to come in and beat somebody up. Vanderbilt Vanderbilt is perennially in the cellar when it comes to the SEC. Their coach Clark Lee came out this year and made a very bold statement in SEC Media Days just a few weeks ago, and he said, we are going to be, in a few short years, we are going to be the best team in all of college football, not just the SEC. He said all of college football, and he said that with his whole chest and was not ashamed to say it. So damn, I didn't know Jay Cutler I didn't know Jay Cutler came from Vanderbilt. Watch out now. Okay, alrighty then. Well, historically, they have always been in the cellar dwellers, and they have not won a season opener since 2018, 2016. It's been a minute since they've won a season opener, and it has been a long time since they won like they won. They showed up this past Saturday, and they absolutely mollywopped. They beat them like they stole something. They went into Hawaii. They said, give me all your pineapples. They said, give me all your fish. I'm taking all the flower wreaths I got laid 800 times. I'm taking over the Dole Pineapple Station. We are the best. Get off the beach. We all surfing. They just went in and kicked them in the teeth.
It was like they're on vacation, man. On vacation. Just go in there and play a little football on the side. That's all it was.
63-10. Okay, look, Sean, I know what you're saying. Listen, I know what you're saying. I feel you. They had a whole lot of players, but you have to understand this is still Vanderbilt we're talking about. Vanderbilt has played lesser group of 5 teams and lost by double digits. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? I'm not talking about I'm not talking about a really good group of 5 team. I'm talking about a group of 5 team that's in the same boat as Vanderbilt, and they've still lost by double digits.
Brother, that goes back to what we were talking about earlier before even a snap has been snapped. Is Clark Lee talking about what he's talking? Do you think that had that played a factor in them boys playing like they did? I mean, I know it's Hawaii. I know they had 50. I mean, they had player problems, but I mean, given that, having a coach talk like that, I mean, it's got to pump your team up a little bit,
Yeah. 10-8, that's pretty doggone fast. Now, that's still not world-class speed because the world-class runners are running in the 9.6, 9.7 range, but that's damn fast. That is damn fast. To answer your question, Nathan Snell, everybody is not an NFL encyclopedia. No, I did not know Jay Cutler went to Vanderbilt. I wasn't even a follower of the team he played for, so I did not feel so inclined as to ascertain where from he achieved his undergraduate college degree. Thank you very much.
Not a big burst is Georgia boy right here.
Yeah, I had to pull out the big vocabulary. I had to pull out the big vocabulary for real. And you know what?
Just to interrupt there just for a minute. He had 146 yards and 2 touchdowns. Quarterback rating of 69.6. So he's got some weapons. He played a great game.
I mean, all told, 197 yards passing because AJ Swan got in and got a few reps in, and 440.
He ran 87 yards for a touchdown. So that was one of the highlights. So
yeah, as a matter of fact, he was their leading rusher with 163 yards. He had 2 touchdowns on the ground. He had 2 passing touchdowns, 2 touchdowns on the ground. Yes, it was. I mean, if it were any other team other than Hawaii, they would be saying it was a Heisman-like performance. But still, we're talking about. I am with you on everything that you gentlemen are saying, Sean and Nate. But you have to understand the Vanderbilt that Colin and I know that Colin and I have been following for decades never showed up like this ever against anybody. And so for them to show up, as the song say, they understood the assignment and they knocked it out of the park. So big shouts out to Vanderbilt for Vandy could easily go 3-0 this year. Oh my God.
We might have to bring him on here. Explain yourself.
Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition. Let's focus on today and not yesterday. SEC. Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? Let me stop playing. Listen, this is what I've been saying all along since I've been coming on these shows. When you play a team like this that is not ready, you are supposed to run over them. You're supposed to beat them in the ground. You're supposed to beat them in the ground. You're supposed to run them in the dirt. You're supposed to, as Herman Boone, the late Herman Boone, the coach of the great T.C. Williams Titans used to say, agile, mobile, hostile. You miss an assignment, you run a mile. You fumble the ball, you run a mile. You drop a pass, you run a mile. you fumble the ball, I will break my foot off in your John Brown hind parts, and then you will run a mile. Now,
That's right.
looking at their schedule, that's a big confidence booster for their coach to come in and say, we could see us being at the creme de la creme of college football in a few years. And for them to come out like this, that just backed up everything. I'm pretty sure he gave a heck of a victory speech in the locker room. But I'm gonna back up. I'm gonna back up because I've had verbal diarrhea because I'm excited about being here. I'm gonna let you give your take on what you thought about this win, man.
Well, no, it's a statement win as far as I'm concerned. Be it Hawaii or whatever. I mean, how you said before, like we haven't seen Hawaii. We haven't seen Vanderbilt play this type of football game, regardless if it was Hawaii. They're going through some player troubles and that kind of stuff. But I mean, how big is it that your coach went out there and said what he said, having everybody laugh at him, thinking he's full of what and blah blah blah. But like I said again, even though it was Hawaii, it was a statement win for that football team. It may not be for the SEC as a whole, or you and I, or somebody that knows Vanderbilt, but for that team, I know it was leaps and bounds, and it's a confidence booster for those guys. So I mean, until they get mollywopped, until the situation is reversed, I think these guys are going to play hard for them. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, seriously, when Clark Lee came out and said what he said, I was just like that.
What?
And everybody was like,
as most of America. So
right. And seriously, like a lot of people were saying, oh, it might be a tight game. It might be this. It might be that. But Clark Lee got in that locker room and talked to those boys. And Vanderbilt, you know what? I got an idea for a new segment, and I'm not going to start it today. But Vanderbilt gets the Watch This Award of the week because Vanderbilt, I got two teams for the Watch This Award of the week. I'm going to get on the next one in a second. But Vanderbilt came out and said, okay, we won a couple of games last year. We ain't won 10 whole games in three whole seasons. But hey, people. So Vanderbilt gets the Watch This Award of the week. They are one of the winners of the Watch This Award of the week from This Week in SEC. Congratulations to them and their win. Their schedule's looking a little light, so they could definitely go 3-0, possibly 4-0. Man, could you imagine? Could you imagine Vanderbilt ripping off 4 straight wins? Well, hell, yeah. I couldn't imagine them winning by 53 before Saturday. So,
honestly, they came back. I mean, they got a lot of their players back. I mean, like they got 80% of their O line come back, and then you got 70% of their D return. So, I mean, it's having that player experience last year, maybe these guys are getting better. I mean, honestly, to answer your question, no, I didn't expect to beat down like I saw, this weekend. So I did not. So
now our second nominee and winner of the Watch This Award this week. Many of you, those of you that hadn't heard, Florida A&M University had to play the Tar Heels of the University of North Carolina. Shout out to our guy, Sean Spencer, big time Tar Heels fan. He's at home right now going, Tar Heels, Tar Heels. FAMU, not necessarily known as a powerhouse, but a far better than decent team in the Southwest Athletic Conference. They are an HBCU, a historically black college and university. And they weren't supposed to go into North Carolina and do what they did. And on Thursday, they found out that over half their team was ineligible to play. Now, further investigation into the situation has shown that it wasn't that the guys were academically ineligible. It was things like their advisors were telling them that they only needed so many credits in order to complete this year. Like they had the GPAs, but they were getting bad advice. They were having problems getting registered for classes. I attended HBCU at Savannah State University. I can attest that registration is a pain in the butt. That's why I always pre-registered about halfway through the term because there's no way in hell I was spending an entire workday standing in the administration building trying to get registered for classes. But those guys came in there and they hung with UNC for at least 2.5 quarters. UNC eventually did open it up, but to the Rattlers of Florida A&M University, you also get the Watch This Award. All right, ladies and gentlemen, those of you that just joined us, welcome to This Week in SEC Football. I am Mr. Fingers. That guy right there is Colin P. from the DMV. We have been talking about FAMU is located in Tallahassee, Florida, Nate. Yeah, Sean. They only had 3 starters out, but they did. But I mean, yeah, they had 3 starters out, but a lot of those guys were their backup, and they only traveled with 6 or 7 offensive linemen. And if you remember, 2 or 3 of them went out. So now I'm gonna give Northwestern their props too. You know what? We'll go ahead and give Northwestern one too. We saw that Scott Frost. Scott Frost is on the hot seat again. He's living on the edge. We talked about him. We already knew he was on the hot seat. Northwestern pulls off the upset in Nebraska in the season opener. How about watch this for Northwestern? All righty then. Now
Frost is behind his own fire. He is on fire. Frost ain't Frosty. Ain't nothing about Frosty about him. He's on fire.
Look. I got some old academic, them giant academic bejeweled, bedazzled belt buckles is more frosty than Scott Frost right now.
Let's go for an onside kick. We're 11 points ahead.
Right. At the end of the day,
then he threw the offensive coordinator under the bus. I'm like,
of course he did. But so that even though those aren't SEC games, those were definitely games of note. There were some other games of note as well. We will get into those a little bit later this week. We're going to come on and give you a shortened segment where we talk about key games that happened this past weekend, key games that a few of the key SEC games that are coming up this week. Not to step on, by the way, our good friends at Let's Talk Football now have a football show called Let's Talk College Football. They will be on Saturdays. Wow, Sundays. Ooh, I'm way behind. They will be on Saturday mornings. They normally come on. Is it 9 a.m. Eastern? 9 or 10 a.m. Eastern? 10 a.m. Eastern. They got a lot of good insight. We just want to touch on a couple of key SEC games because we want to stay tight on time today. But before we do another further, we want to send a shout out to our number one sponsor this week. It's our guy, Sid Swinton from Let's Talk Football Sunday morning. Let's Talk Football in the morning on Sundays, and Let's Talk Fantasy Football. So here is an ad from Squid Rips Cards. Yes, indeed. Go over there, hit our guy up at Squid Rips Cards on TikTok. He's on twice a week. You need football cards, he's got football cards. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we do thank you for joining us. Kate Alverson, hello. Thank you for popping in and saying hello to us in the comments. Our guy, Cal Yacy, fellow Falcons fan, rise up. The Falcons finished the preseason 2-1. We know that doesn't mean squat because neither does a 26-3 lead in the Super Bowl, but we'll talk about that another time. But you listen, we know what you all came for. We're going to give it to you. We know there's a game coming up. I don't know why that's still highlighted. I thought I had unhighlighted that. Let me unhighlight that real quick. But we know that there's a game coming up, and you know that there's a game coming up, and Colin and I are very excited about it, as is the rest of Bulldog Nation. As Larry Munson would say, let all the Bulldog Nation now rally around the men who wear the red and black with two simple words that best exemplify the spirit of the Bulldog Nation. Go Dogs. So guess what, y'all? Guess who's playing this week? That's right. Number 3, University of Georgia, the returning national champions, playing in Atlanta at Mercedes-Benz Stadium versus number 11 Oregon Ducks. The Oregon Ducks, of course, led by the former defensive coordinator, the mastermind behind that incredible defense last year that broke all sorts of records, Dan Lanning. Colin, I'm going to come to you with this. Where do you think this is going to go?
Yeah, no, like we said before, it's going to be the litmus test this year for how our season is probably going to go. I mean, I think we're picked to be more than a 2-touchdown or close to a 2-touchdown favorite. I am wearing the black jerseys because I think they did tell the student body to black out the stadium, so I'm representing there. So, but it's going to be a great game, I think, because you had then you had Bo Nix from Auburn go there to transfer there to be their quarterback, and you have Dan Lanning as the head coach, so he knows a little bit about Georgia football. So, and just to go along with that, I saw Stetson Bennett's press conference, And that was one of the questions posed to him was, are you worried about Dan Lanning, about what he knows and what he doesn't know? He said, you can't fall into that. You can't, think about that kind of stuff. You just got to go out there and play football, which, that's, he said a mouthful. You can't worry about what he knows and what he doesn't know. You just go out and, play the football that you know how to play. But I think it's going to be a great game, and I'm really happy that it's in Atlanta at the Chick-fil-A kickoff game at Mercedes. It's going to show, like, they said that if our defense takes a step back, you know what I mean? If they could if we take a step back like people thought we were going to do, it remains to be seen. But I think we have a lot of people that are, next man up, that I think, we have enough talent to not step back as far as people think. What's your lookout on this?
Well, this is what I got. The offense that Dan Lanning is coming into, we got first-year head coach in Dan Lanning. Okay, now we know that Dan Lanning is definitely a defensive guru. What in the world is that? That was not me. Was that you?
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know. Some strange music. Some strange music decided to jump in and decided to play. That wasn't me. Dan Lanning, we know that he's a defensive guru, but and we know that he did lose a goodly amount of starters. But the starters that he does have, they are 82 combined starts between his offensive linemen. So he's 82 combined starts. That's pretty doggone impressive. Yep. He's got George Moore was the only starter that he lost from the offensive line. He's got you got Jackson Powers Johnson, who got a few starts his freshman year and is returning. They did lose Jonah Miller, Jalen Jeffers, Jonathan Dennis, Logan Sagapulu, and Kai Arneson that all transferred. And these guys were rotational guys that come in for certain sets. But they did lose those. But the returning group they got a good solid returning group coming back. They got some signees coming in, Josh Connerly, Dave Luley, Kawika Rogers. That's an interesting name. That's a mouthful. And Michael Wooten. A lot of guys got banged up this spring, so Dan Lanning definitely dipped into the transfer portal. It's a smart move on the part of a new coach. It's like, I got some guys banged up. I lost some guys. Let me get some big bangers in here to shore up this offensive line. Looking at just in terms of, I know that you really can't count on, you can't really go by last year's records, but last five. Now this is Oregon's last 5 games. They include the bowl game. They lost by 15 to OU. They lost by 28 to Utah. They turned around and beat Oregon State, but then they lost again to Utah in the conference championship. But then they wound up pulling up the big 14-point win in the yes, sir. AJ, college football is back, sir. Welcome. That's my boy AJ Johnson. He's the guy that got the Bama Does What Bama Do sweatshirt for his daughter.
Oh, no kidding. Thanks, man. Appreciate you.
Whose daughter who's on campus right now in Tuscaloosa. And then of course we know how Georgia's season went. Their sole loss the entire season being the conference championship. But Oregon does return a solid group of guys as starters at offense.
Let me ask you this. Let me just interrupt there just for a second. What do you think Bo Nix is going to do? You think he's going to show his behind? You think, what do you think is going to come out with him?
Well, I joked a lot about him. I joked a lot about him being Mr. Happy Feet, but a discussion offline with the Godfather. That's how I'm going to refer to you from now on, Mr. Spencer. If I say the Godfather, I'm referring to you. The discussion that I was having with the Godfather was that he's gonna have a better offensive line this year. So is he going to have Happy Feet as much, or is he going to be more of the pocket passer? I mean, having that option, having a better offensive line will allow them to have more design plays like they had at Ole Miss, where Matt Corral could take off and run. If it was a design play where it's like, go through your reads, and if you got nothing, come back, and if you got nothing, then you can take, if you got that time, boom, boom, boom. Yeah, you got holes to run through. So and that's a very good point. I'm not a guy who's going to dig my heels in the ground and say Bo Nix is a horrible quarterback, but
No.
we know what sample size we saw. All I have to go on is the sample size I saw at Auburn last year. He wound up getting benched for TJ Finley, or actually he got hurt, and TJ Finley came in. Who, by the way, shout outs to TJ Finley getting the start in week 1 in Auburn. We'll talk about him in our show a little bit later this week. But yeah, I think it's going to be. I still think Georgia wins by no less than 10. Now, looking at the odds as they have them right now, ESPN has got Georgia as a 91.5% favorite to win. Here it goes again. There it goes again. That doggone thing, that ad decided to pop up. I got an ad on the website here where I went to pull up the odds. So I don't see it being as big a blowout as it could have been last year if Lanning was still our DC and we still had at least 50% of the defensive squad that we had. But I do think our defensive guys are going to step up and make big plays. You are going to have some guys that are going to be a little inexperienced. I mean, granted, Dan Lanning knows. He worked with Kirby Smart, so he knows. But you did mention that Bobo left Oregon and is now back at University of Georgia.
Yeah, he's back at the University of Georgia. He left there. I don't know if he was on the way out. I have no information on that, but I just realized that he did. I didn't know he was at Oregon, to be honest with you. Yeah, he came back, and then so I don't know. I mean, I think you're right, and I agree with you totally. I mean, having an offensive line and that protection gives you a chance to be the quarterback that you actually are. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't think he had that at Auburn. Because I mean, the offensive line collapsed, and I mean, maybe it was not that he just took off when it kind of got close to him. Maybe it was just like he had to run for his life. But it may maybe a difference. When you have that kind of protection. Maybe he can sit in the pocket, sit and make his checks and check downs and that kind of stuff. But it remains to be seen, and I hope our defense is ready for it. That's all I can say.
Well, since you mentioned the defense and since you told me what you told me before the show started, here's your time to shine, sir. Question from the audience. Can you give us some guys to watch for on defense and why you think they'll shine?
I'll give you one right here. So I have a number one that I just read. So Michael Williams. So he got the props from the one and only Nolan Smith. He said he actually reminds you of Trayvon Walker. So I mean, if he proved to be as good as Trayvon Walker, Michael Williams, that is, man, we're gonna win for a good season. That would be a huge part of our defense that we're lacking. You know what I mean? So if he can fill those shoes, I mean, that's the number one and only defensive guy that I'm actually gonna be looking at.
Okay, well, I personally is just as far in terms of secondary because Bo Nix, even though he's known to take off and go running, he had a good arm, so he can get the ball downfield, and that's where I'm looking for our number one guy, the hero of the day in the national championship, Mr. Kelee Ringo. I mean, Kelee was all over the place. He made. There were some times where he made plays that looked like dumb penalties, but case in point, I forgot which team it was that we were playing against. I think it was Kentucky, and Levis took a good shot downfield. It was easily 55-yard pass, and Ringo took the pass interference call because the pass interference call in college is only a 15-yard penalty. Now in the pros, it's spotted right where the foul takes place. In college football, it's a 15-yard penalty, and they were still on the other side of the 50-yard line, so they only got the advanced 15 yards. And defense stepped up, shut them down. They wound up having to punt the ball back over to Georgia. So it's all about knowing when and where. It's all about knowing when the when and where. In terms of, I mean, you don't really want to be overly penalized, but if you got to take a penalty, you got to know when to make a smart penalty.
Oh, that's the one to take.
Yeah, I got to go back to a couple of these comments here. You're absolutely right, Sean. We talked about Auburn. We talked about it really. We talked about it really big on Saturday. The whole mess with the coach, the whole mess with the coach, and everybody wanting to get rid of the coach, from the fans to the homeless guy. There was no offense to homeless people. We're really not making fun of homeless people, but homeless people standing out in front of 7-Eleven holding signs saying "Fire Brian Harsin." The boosters wanted him gone. The fans wanted him gone. and now the athletic director has resigned, and his shield is taken away from him. And yeah, that's not a good. That's not really a good place for a young quarterback to be at this point. To be in the middle of a tumultuous program. So again, Sean, I'm not a guy that's going to dig my heels in and say, nope, I'm 100% right and you're 100% wrong. Because like I said, this Saturday it comes down to pad on pad, and Bo Nix may very well come out and impress the living hell out of us. So
yeah. He's essentially playing for a different team, right? I mean, he's playing for a different team than Auburn. Don't have all that noise coming from the outside in, and you got a good coach in Dan Lanning. So, I mean, it all could, it may all fall in line for him. So no one ever knows.
100%. Nate, I want you to answer this in the comments. I'm not exactly sure what you're referring to because I missed it when you posted it, but just give me another shout in the comments of what that's all about. I have no idea.
I think it was a sing "Let It Go" from Frozen or something. Give us a verse or something.
I have no idea. Anybody else that we need to look out for? I know we talked about some guys that were pretty deep on the depth chart that need to be acknowledged. Because I got to be 100% honest with you, sir. The Falcons. Oh, hey, look, Nate. Oh, Nate said the Falcons. Let the Falcons go.
Oh, okay.
You know what, Nate the Snail? I will let 26-3 and I will let 26-3 go the minute that the Falcons hoist the Lombardi Trophy, or whenever you join me to eat some wings, whichever one comes first. I might even cave and let you get some chicken tenders and just pretend that they're wings. But I'm gonna let it go when the Falcons look. I listen. I love my dogs. I talked a lot of smack about my dogs too behind the scenes. Me and Colin always griping, man, we can't get over the hump. We can't do this. We can't. Of course, we weren't on the show then. I talked about them just like I talked about the Falcons. But this year, they got the job done. And so I'm giving them all the props. When the Falcons get it together, I'll stop talking about them. It's just like you doing this when somebody bring up Lamar Jackson. You understand what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I definitely got to talk about that now. On the offensive side, we know what's going on. We on the offensive side, we definitely know. We knew before spring even rolled around, Stetson was the man. Stetson led the team from wire to wire. Stetson led the team from wire to wire. Yeah, he made some mistakes, but I mean, hell, Tom Brady is going down as the GOAT. It will go down in history as the GOAT. And we saw what happened in 2007 when the Giants pressured him. He was sacked. He threw interceptions. Nobody's perfect, but he got us there. He was not completely unflappable, but he was able to always pull it back together game in and game out. So we know that's our guy. We know Carson Beck right now is number 2. Vandagriff is number 3. And we got Gunner coming in. Gunner should be on campus. The Gunner should be on campus now. So Gunner's probably going to be a garbage time guy if he impresses. If he impresses, then he'll get, because I remember Stetson Bennett the year that in 2017, I remember seeing Stetson Bennett getting garbage time reps. And I remember me and you talking about that guy going, I'm really impressed. You said it to me, said I'm really impressed with that Bennett kid. So Bennett, outside of Bennett and Bowers, who are we working with? Well, you got Adonai Mitchell. Adonai Mitchell kind of flew under the radar last year, or AD as it were. The people folks call him AD. AD kind of flew under the radar, but he really jumped up in the spotlight when he caught that, dime. I mean, Bennett put it where only Mitchell could get it. It was almost him reaching around the defender's neck to get it. But that one put him in the spotlight. But he had been making plays like that all season. We also have returning sophomore Ladd McConkey. Ladd McConkey was an absolute stud, and the kid's got wheels. Like Bowers is more of a bruiser who's got some good speed, but he's also got good hands and he can challenge for the balls. But McConkey is the kid that can make those over-the-shoulder catches streaking down the field. And once he gets that ball, he's got wheels. But
bro, talk about the backfield. We got Kendall Milton. We got McIntosh. We got all these guys coming. We got a 3-headed monster at the backfield. So, I mean, then we got Robinson coming in. I want to see what he is. I mean, big bruiser. I want to see what he
Robinson. Oh, my God. Debo. That boy, Debo. Listen, I if you have not seen, those of you that aren't familiar, if you haven't seen this kid, look up Branson Robinson online. If you thought Elijah Holyfield was a monster, this boy makes Elijah Holyfield look like
he's coming out of high school too, man. So he's young. He's still
this is a kid coming out of high school, so he's still got a lot of He's still got some work to do. As far, I mean, he could still get more. You know, we hope he doesn't get injured, but we also have Kendall coming back. And as you saw, Kendall, if Kendall gets in the open field, you're not catching him. We hope that he's fully recovered from that injury. Eric Gilbert was just, I love Eric Gilbert. I haven't had a chance to see him play for us yet. And he was just in a car wreck today in Athens. I saw that.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Now, I did read that he totaled his car, but all reports are saying that he actually will be good for this weekend. That he miraculously has been unscathed. I mean, he's probably going to be sore, you know, but I don't think there's any kind of life-threatening or any kind of injuries to him from what the reports are saying. But yeah, he totaled his car. I don't know the whole story behind the incident, but yeah, he is. I think Kirby actually talked about him today during his press conference, and barring any setbacks, he should be ready to go this weekend.
Okay, outstanding. Like that was, I saw that report right before we came in here to log on. I said, crap, and I really didn't have the time to look into it and see what had happened. All I saw was that he was in a car accident. So thank you for that update. SEC Freshman of the Year, LSU. He was out last year. He took some. I think he took mental health. He just took some time for mental health to get himself together. Right. But yes, I like him. I can't wait to see what he can do with what we got, with what we have. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I can't wait to see what he can do with what we have, what we're bringing to the table. I'm stoked about it. Do I think he can challenge Bowers? Could be. Could be. I mean, you know, Georgia is one thing Georgia is known for is stocking up on wide receivers and tight ends. And I mean, with the number of guys we got, if you got Bowers, you got Mitchell, you got McConkey, you got Gilbert,
Big O.
Yeah, you got Big O. I mean, somebody's not going to get – it's just like Tampa. Somebody in there somewhere is not going to get as many touches as they want. But I think they're going to figure out a way to spread the love all the way around because, I mean, you see what happened last year. Everybody got a lot of love. It wasn't just – I mean, Bowers was the stud, but we also know Mitchell. We also know McConkey. So those guys will get their time to shine. I mean, even Pickens, who sat out most of the year until it was time to go to the conference championship. Yeah, I mean, he got his love and he got his touches. God, I can't wait to see Pickens play. Side note, that kid is going to do some damage in Pittsburgh. Anyway, to answer a question earlier, what do we think about what our rookies are doing in the NFL? I love. You know what? I'm not even gonna lie to you, Colin. I'm gonna leave this one to you because I'm
gonna say big baby number one. If you didn't already know what kind of kid this is, you know there was a video that was bounced around on Facebook, YouTube, whatever. That he was basically pushing the other guy, maybe second teamer, I don't know. He was pushing this guy back, and basically the headlines were saying, yeah, you know, Jordan Davis is just pushing this kid around. What did Jordan Davis do? He went to a press conference when he was doing his his weekly talk or whatever. He said, "Hey man, the guy that I was playing with, it just shows a piece of the story. You know what I'm saying? It's not that I was pushing him around. He's pushing me around just as much. So I mean, if you didn't already love a kid, I mean, come on.
Even if
he could easily say, "Yeah, I'm the best." You know, he could easily get that clout. Just ran with it.
Even because he don't want for somebody to look and go, okay, that's the guy that I can pick on every single rep. He's giving that dude some love, so they're like, yo, big baby's like, yo, you know what I'm saying? When you get somebody with some clout without for you.
Yeah, and do we even need to talk about Trayvon? I mean, Trayvon showing his behind right off the gate, like we knew he would. You know, I mean, it's just it's amazing to watch them reach this next level and do as good as they are. I mean, they're good players, man. I mean, all our rookies that at the NFL. I mean, I can't wait to watch them.
Yeah, 100%. So we're gonna get into this. So what is? Let's just go ahead and just get this game projection here, man. What do you think is going to be the score? Give me the score prediction for the game. What you got?
You want a number? All right.
I want numbers.
You want numbers? All right, let's see. I'll go. You know what? I'll go 42-10.
Collins got him at 42-10. Mr. Spencer, I'm gonna ask for one from you. Nate, if you're watching, I want one from you too. I am going to say I was going to say 38-10. I like 42. It's a bigger number, but I'm going to stick with my 10 for Oregon. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give Oregon the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to give them 17, but I'm going to say that Georgia's going to probably put up 45. So I'm going to say 45-17. Sean's already given us his 37-28. He's given Oregon a lot more. Yeah, I mean, like I said,
I don't doubt it.
Like I said, this Saturday is pad on pad. All the speculation is over. Once the pads start hitting pads, and the adrenaline, the butterflies are gone. Most of us here play football at some point, and you remember standing there at kickoff for that first kickoff, especially if you were on the special teams. You were out there, and that adrenaline was flowing. And once the referee and the kickoff went, boom! And as soon as you put pad on pad, it was time to get serious. So speculation.
I just think that we put together a couple of four quarters of football games that I think, even if it is close at halftime, I think we're gonna pull away in the second half. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. That's why I think it's gonna be a bigger scoring game. So I mean, we may be close at halftime.
All right. Then I will take that. I'm holding on to all these scores. I might have a little something special for the winner this week. Of course, Colin and Sean or Nate. I might have a little something special for whoever comes close this week out of the Zagnif grab bag. Let's see here. Are we expecting it to be? We'll take this last question and then we're gonna move forward a little bit. Are we expecting the D to be similar to last year? If last year was a 10 out of 10, yeah, I'm going 7.6 because I still think because there were a lot of guys. There are a lot of guys that came up that did not get reps because the defense was so good. That didn't get reps because Nakobe was out there. That didn't get reps because Trayvon was out there. That didn't get reps, although Big Baby didn't play every down. That didn't get reps because Big Baby was out there. That they're going to step in and that are going to step in and step up again.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead. I'm done.
Well, no, I was going to say that to your point. I mean, you know how our defense is, right? I mean, it takes them a little bit to get kind of warmed up. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I agree with that totally. So I mean, it'll probably be maybe a 6, 7, out of 10. And once they get the cohesiveness and get used to playing with each other, I mean, like I said, it may take a couple of downs, maybe more downs than we actually think. But I mean, it's going to take them a little bit to get used to playing with each other and knowing assignments and that kind of stuff. So yeah, I think it's going to be 6 or 7.
You say 6 or 7?
Mm-hmm.
So you thinking it'll start out at a 6 and it'll work its way up to a 7? So it's not going to be.
That's what I think. Yeah.
Yeah. And Sean's making some good points because the backups just not have been ready. We'll find all that out this weekend, which is 100% true. Did the secondary get any better? I can't say that it got any better. Knowing that we got Ringo back there, and oh my Lord, I feel bad. My man that got the pick 6 in the Clemson game. I believe he's coming back this season also. Christopher. Yeah. All I know is Christopher. Yeah, I believe he'll be back also.
Yeah, we lost a lot of them. We lost Scene. We lost a lot of people.
Louis Scene. Those guys are. Yeah, 100%. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to move into our next segment, but before we do that. It just wants to keep playing. But before we move forward, like I said, we got a lot of shows in the Let's Talk Football family. Here's a little preview, and I alluded to some of them. The Godfather, The Architect, along with our boy Nathan Snell. Check him out at One Nathan Snell on the Big Nate Sports Podcast. But here is the Let's Talk Football family of sports podcast lineup. Don't go in. Yes, indeed. There is your lineup right there, ladies and gentlemen. One of the reasons why I like that, I like that interlude is it's just long enough for me to sneak a couple of cookies. I got some EL fudge over here, so I got to sneak a
Yay.
couple of cookies during the interlude. But we're gonna keep this thing moving on along. Those of you just joining us, welcome. This week in SEC football, Mr. Fingers, Colin P from the DMV in the SEC. We just got done wrapping up talking about game of the week, number 11 Oregon versus number 3 UGA. We got some side news and notes that we're gonna go through really quickly. Before we shut it down, let's see. I can take that one out. Side notes and news. Mainly, there's really only one story here you guys heard us all season long talk about a kid who worked really hard to get to the point of where he was in the football program that he was in, how he had to sit for 3 years plus a COVID year behind some real studs because the guys in front of him, it wasn't he was good, it's just the guys in front of him were just that much more studly. Finally and then COVID shut some things down for a year or so. Finally got a chance to get out there, gave it all he got, had a 1,400-yard rushing season last year, absolute stud. Washington Commanders rookie Brian Robinson. It looked like he was going to take it. All stories were pointing to that he was going to take the starting job away from Gibson in DC, and he was going to get the majority of the touches. At some point, he was carjacked in DC. Carjacking. He's uncertain. This.
Oh.
Getting him to the point of potentially happen. It's I got nothing. I got nothing for it. Just it breaks my heart for the kid. I hope he makes a full recovery because we hear stories like this all the time. Guys that fight and scratch and they might not have come from the best of backgrounds and they get to the NFL and something tragic happens and then they just don't get that shot. So
it broke my heart to see that too. I think in all reports, I guess all reports are he's going to be okay, right? I mean, there's no life threatening, or I know he'd been shot how many times? I guess like 4 or 5 times. I guess it was. But I guess some reports I see that he's going to be okay. I mean, I'm not certain, but I just imagine.
Yeah. So our prayers from the Let's Talk Football family go out to Brian Robinson and a swift recovery, and hopefully we'll be able to see you play on a gridiron soon, young man. Although you will never catch me here, you will never catch me saying your team slogan. Much love from this dog fan for you, sir.
For sure.
We hope,
for sure.
and we know that fans all across the world are hoping for your swift recovery. Let's see here. Now, this next story is a little bit lighter. I put the lighter story on the back end because I had to talk about it. We've talked about how the fans just absolutely ride the coaches at UGA about who they picked the quarterback and how people were mad because we let Justin Fields get away and we would have won another championship if he had played with us, and how he got with Ohio State. And, the year before that, the whole, Jacob Eason was the guy coming in the 2017 season. He got hurt. Fromm came in, led the team all the way to the national championship, got the starting job the next year. Jacob Eason transferred out. Now, this is only addressing the folks on social media, the keyboard warriors that just are Kirby Smart needs to be fired, this, that, and the other. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I just out of sheer morbid curiosity, I was watching a piece of, I think I had a preseason game on just for some background noise while I was doing some housework and stuff like that. And I happened to look up and see this stat. And Colin, if you remember, I believe the stat was Jacob Eason 2 or 3 for 75 yards in a pickle. Where is the savior of the 2017 Georgia Bulldogs now? Well, according to all reports, he's on the verge of getting cut from the Seattle Seahawks, his second NFL squad. Let's see what his stats. His stat line for the Colts last season, he played 3 games. He started 2. It was 41 of 62 for a total of 389 yards. He was sacked 3 times. His longest pass, 37 yards.
Now, how does that compare? How does that compare to Jake Fromm? Like, how's that? I mean, compared to like Jake Fromm coming to the Giants and that kind of stuff. Just to be fair, right?
Jake. Now, let's be fair. Jake Fromm was a 4th-round draft pick. He got a little bit of starting time. Right now, he's a free agent. He's not even in the league.
I think he's going to the booth. I think he's at the booth.
Yeah, I mean, he's not even on somebody's practice squad. He's a free agent right now. But this is just to show. This is just to show the folks that want to yip yap yap and clickety clack clack and think they know more than the coaches. That sometimes they don't. They just need to, in the words of Kenny Lamar, sit down and be humble. This year for the Seahawks, the savior of the University of Georgia Bulldogs, the year 2017. 2 games played, none started. 19 completions out of 39 attempts. 48.7% completion rating. A whopping total of 148 yards.
Wow. 74
passing yards per game. His longest pass, 20 yards. 20 yards.
Hey, Stetson business. Hey, Stetson can beat that. He can beat that.
Sacked once and 1 interception. And as far as I can see, there were no touchdowns in either season. Now, this is not from me. This is not a thing where I'm coming out to dog Jacob Eason. This is just a thing where I am saying, okay, you guys have had your say, you've yipped and yapped, and why has this gotten better than that guy? And now we don't know what the scenario is. If he had played, would he have gotten on a better team? Blah, blah, blah. Who's the best Georgia quarterback in the league outside of Matt Stafford? Oh, that's a good one.
What was that question? Hold on.
Skill set wise, I'd have to say Quincy Carter, but he threw his career away. And then before that, I tell you, this is what I'm gonna tell you: the best quarterback besides Matt Stafford to come out of the University of Georgia and barely played quarterback his entire career, and he's a Hall of Fame wide receiver for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and his name is Hines Ward.
Yeah,
but prior to that, you'd have to go all the way back to Fran Tarkenton to be completely honest. No, and I'm being honest. I'm being 100% honest. Fran Tarkenton is probably the best quarterback outside of Matt Stafford to come out of Georgia and play in the league.
Well, you want to throw Bobo in there?
Did Bobo really have much of a career though? Did he though?
Not really.
Watch me do my Thor face. Did he though? Really? Did he really? I mean, now this is again to go back to this. This is not for me to say. This is not me dogging Jacob Eason. And had he played and had an illustrious career at Georgia, would he have done gret? Who knows?
Just kind of piggybacking on what you said about Georgia quarterback. So we got to throw in there that JT Daniels have been named the starter for West Virginia. So that would be one that I want to look at today, this year and see since he transferred from Georgia. So I mean, I want to see how he kind of relates to West Virginia and see how he kind of gels with their offensive scheme and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, man. So again, Jacob Eason, listen, we thank you for your service, and we're sorry that things are not working out for you as is right now. But we do hope that you're able to find a home somewhere and be able to be the quarterback that that you had the potential to be. So, having said that, lady, go ahead.
Oh, well, let me just because what was crazy to me, like you just said that, right? So, I mean, I was going through all these Georgia groups and everything. Somebody posted a question: who's your favorite quarterback, and who do you think should play the quarterback for this season? Those kinds of questions really, really irritate me. You know what I'm saying?
You mean
the starter for Georgia. Who's your favorite quarterback, and who would you like to see start for Georgia this year? We have a starter. Why is there a question?
Yeah, you're right. But to be completely honest, I don't have a favorite. I just know what I saw last year. I watched Stetson Bennett. You and I both watched Stetson Bennett from the time he was playing garbage minutes behind Jake Fromm to now. And obviously,
that's not aimed at Georgia football. I mean, it's like any other football team. You know, who's your favorite quarterback? Who do you want to watch play? I want to watch a quarterback that wins football games.
Yeah, I don't care who plays.
That's it.
I
don't care who
I don't care. I don't care. I don't care if Brucey from the longest yard was playing quarterback as long as he could win us games. I'm not even playing. If Brucey could get, you know what I mean? Uncle, you could bring in. Look, I don't care if our 3 quarterbacks was Brucey, Uncle Rico, and Al Bundy. Actually, Al Bundy, 4 touchdowns, poke high. Come on. I mean, you can't beat that. Yeah, so let's move into our next segment, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. We're winding. We come to the end of the show. This is a part of the show where we can be reflective, we can be funny, we can reach out and be, heart-rending and tugging. It's a 2-minute warning, and Colin, I'm gonna let you go first, and then I'll jump in, and then we will say goodbye to the good folks and get up out of here.
Yes, sir. I mean, I don't think it needs to be said that everybody that loves college football, including myself and yours, we are so happy that everything has finally started up. And it's just it's going to be a great season. I mean, but excuse me, whether we win or lose, I mean, we got a chance to get that back to back. If we do, great. If we don't, hey, it's okay. It happens, But I'm just happy to see the Georgia Dogs play again, as well as other. I watch other college teams play, and it's just the fact that college football is back. And like I said, the college football, the Let's Talk College Football, and that just reminds me that fall's coming. You got that cool breeze. You got that cool weather.
Yes, sir. Hey, my guy. It was 81 degrees in Oklahoma City today. Fall is coming, and football is coming with it. There it is. There's the air horn. College football is back, baby.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And I'm here for all of it. I'm not gonna piggyback on you. I'm not gonna piggyback on you on what you said. I'm going to, honestly, I'm just going to say, listen, y'all have a great weekend. Be safe this weekend. It's a long weekend. A lot of things happen. People are going to be out. It's going to be the last grilling weekend of the summer, or the last everything of the summer. Tons of people traveling. Just be safe. And just remember to try and not let things get you uptight this weekend. Just try and relax and enjoy your weekend. So that's all I got for the 2-minute warning. Ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you very much for tuning in to this week's edition of This Week in SEC Football. Colin and I will be back. We'll probably come back through, say on Wednesday, because we got a couple other key games we want to talk about. We really wanted to talk today about Georgia versus Oregon, because that's where we live. Go Dogs, sick 'em, hurt. But we'll be back probably on Wednesday. We'll coordinate so we don't step on any other shows this week. But we'll be back just to talk about some other key games in the SEC and who else is playing. Thank you so much for tuning in. And we will be back next week with episode 22 of This Week in SEC Football. So on behalf of myself and Colin P., the brother from another Colin P. from the DMV in the SEC, we are OUWT out. Go Dogs.
And go Dogs.